Ripple XRP, so the IMF have just released a new report and it is called ASAP. So we will be having a look into the IMF's new digital asset system that they have now set for us. And we are also going to be having a look at interoperability and what Metaco has said in relation to this. Of course, we will be looking at the price action of XRP coin today. So all I ask from you are two things, which is to smash that like button and to subscribe to the channel as well. So this is the report from the IMF. And the publication date was just a few days ago, on the 2nd of February. It is called ASAP, which stands for a conceptual model for digital asset platforms. And I'm not going to read all of the summary, but you'll see over here that it aims to facilitate the use of a clear terminology in the platform-oriented paradigm of financial infrastructures by laying the groundwork for technical discussions on digital asset standards. And the ASAP model is illustrated through examples and use cases of tokenized assets to demonstrate the possible usage and merits of modeling digital asset platforms with the 4 layers. And of course, you'll see over here we have the promoting cross-platform interoperability, including across various jurisdictions, paving the way for a more cohesive digital asset ecosystem. And that is basically what we need, right? We need these systems to talk to each other. That is why we need the cohesiveness as well as the interoperability. It basically does what it says on the tin, getting those ledgers to speak to each other. So we're going to take a look at a few things here. We won't be reading the whole report. So we have over here the asset layer. The platforms have the capacity to incorporate one or more or multiple types of assets within the same platform. So these are the type of examples. I'm sure you would have had quite a lot of these by now being said: CBDC, stablecoins, tokenized deposits, bonds, equity, derivatives, and fungible assets. And each of these assets possesses logically distinct data and in some cases code structures, and this arrangement enables assets to be managed independently on the same platform while maintaining the ability to interact seamlessly with each other and within the services situated in the above service layer. And so that is how they're able to identify and separate them. And then over here we have the exploration of service interoperability between platforms. And one of these examples is the illustration of a technical interoperability solution for the settlement of cross-border payments by means of a widened access to central bank liabilities. And you can see over here in this diagram we have the access, service, asset and platform, and these are the different layers. And we have the API integration as well as the service interoperability between the UBIN platform and the Jasper platform. And each central bank's platform uses a DLT infrastructure at the platform layer that allows the issuing of the tokenized version of their money, for example a CBDC in an asset layer. And it also supports the necessary services that implement the cross-border PVP, essentially in the form of an escrow service and an HTLC. And the service layer interoperability is enabled by adopting a common protocol for asset exchange between 2 platforms. A successful interoperability does not hinge on the convergence of the local protocol implementations, but on agreeing to use the same specification and parameters, such as the secret format, the cryptographic protocol used for hashing the shared secret, and the time frame of asset escrowing on both platforms, all the protocolar steps that participants should follow. And so you can just see from this paper the amount of work that it takes when it comes to interoperability, being able to have these same platforms essentially having the same protocols, the standardized messaging, and so that they can speak to each other and enable it as well. But all these different layers are the types of things that are needed in order to achieve that interoperability. So I thought that I'd show you a bit of that paper. We have over here from A01XRP a video where we have Metacode Talks. It is on the topic of interoperability, and I won't be showing you the whole clip, but we're going to take a look at what he has said in relation to this question.
We've seen a lot of banks build private chain infrastructure, but that by definition is fragmented and has not necessarily been tested at scale given it's mostly new technology. And you have, by definition, you're creating silos again. So things like interoperability become a challenge. What are your views on this? How is this going to evolve? How do you view it now, and how do you think it will evolve over time?
Same thing, right? You'll have different forms of this infrastructure, and different organizations will be comfortable engaging with different types of infrastructure. And as adoption goes, I do think that you will need, in order to address the fracturing liquidity, you will need to figure out, again, with adoption comes the need for standardization. I think you can't have the same format of asset in all kinds of infrastructure. So you will need to figure out interoperability. And if you really look at it, interoperability is a fancy new term we basically float around. But I would say no two banks have the same core banking infrastructure.
Of course.
Right? And even a single bank,
they're different.
Yeah, right. Even a single bank does not have the same core uniform backing infrastructure, and we do interoperate. These systems do talk to each other. We use some kind of messaging layer, right? So Swift is a classic example, right? So it's again, right? So I think sometimes we just think that everything that we do is, there's no playbook. There's always a playbook. You got to look at how do you want to tweak it, right? So Swift is the interoperable layer between many desperate core banking infrastructures, right? So, and as you sort of get onto this new infrastructure, hopefully it will be a programmable distributor ledger-led, core infrastructure. What it tells us is messaging need not be the way how you interoperate, right? So you create protocols, and there could be a better way of transferring assets, interoperating, being interoperable, recognizing each other's standards, because everything is programmable. I do believe there's better ways of achieving interoperability. The other way is to think of public blockchains as that interoperability highway. So you can do everything that you want on your private chain, and you interface with the public blockchains. And on the other end, if there's another permission chain that interfaces with the public blockchain, you have an interoperable layer in form of a utility that's not controlled by anyone.
And so it's basically saying here that even in the banking industry, no two banks have these same systems that they work on. However, they are able to talk to each other because we have that standardized set of rules. And of course, we have Swift coming into play, being one of the larger players still in this industry today. And I still think it's going to be around for some time. But of course, Ripple's technology is trying to get a piece of the pie within that market. And yes, Swift have been trying to evolve with their technology because they've been around for quite some time now. And so their technology did need updating. So they're trying to keep up with the market. But Ripple are a new player, and maybe they could potentially be working with Swift very soon. I mean, we do that. Ripple has been allocated as one of the task force members by the Bank for International Settlements alongside with Swift. So we'll have to see what comes out with that. So the price action of XRP coin today, we are currently trading at 0.505. We are down by 1.36% on the one-day chart. For the 24-hour volume, we are down by 27.54%. And we're trading at $655.5 million. So we are down today compared with yesterday where we were at 51 cents. I mean, you'll see over here in the earlier hours of the morning, we were trading at 0.503, pretty much where we are right now. On the 7-day chart, we are down by 4.27%. Now, if we do see some bearish sentiment, we could be pulling back and possibly going to the 48 cent mark where we did before. But if we are able to get a bit more movement upwards, we should be able to easily get 52 cents. I mean, you'll see over here on the 1st of February, that is where we broke that 50 cent mark. We came down to 0.4938, and actually the lowest that we went to over here was 0.4906, but we were able to bounce back off from it, and we went to 0.5095. Now, on the 3rd of February, we were able to get back up to 52 cents, 0.5235, so that was a nice 2 cent move from here. We have essentially lost that now. We've gone down by 2 cents. However, I do think that XRP's next price target is at 53 cent mark. We just need that support. On the 1 month chart, we're down by 12.53%. And obviously, we have made lower lows ever since the midweek of January. I think we had that run up with all of these spot Bitcoin ETFs being approved. So XRP coin, 53 cents is where I want it to go first. And then the second price target is 55 cents. Let's see if we can get the 53 cent support level first, because it has been bouncing back from the 49 cents to 51 cents in the past couple of days. Guys, if you want daily Ripple XRP coin news, subscribe to the channel and like the video as well.